Hello. Welcome to this webinar from Google and Parent Zone, the experts in digital family life. My name's Chelsea and I've been delivering this programme in primary schools for the last 3 years now, and I'm so happy to be here with you all today. Now, just before we start, I hope you can see me and the slides. If your picture's a bit fuzzy, then try and press refresh in your browser, or you should see a cog at the bottom of your screen where you can change the quality, and that should help. Now, we really want to make this a conversation. So if you do have any questions at any point, do type them in the chat box and I'll be looking at them. And we've also got Tim, and Tim's our expert and he'll be answering your questions there too. So if you've got a question, keep your eyes peeled on that box. Now, this will take about 20 to 30 minutes, so do grab a brew, sit back and enjoy. So, Be Internet Legends can make sure your children stay safe and have fun online. So you might be worried that now more than ever your children are spending more time than usual on the internet, and that's why we want to introduce you to the programme. And like I said, we've been delivering this in primary schools across the UK for 3 years now. If you've heard about Be Internet Legends, you might have heard about it from your children or from your children's school. That's absolutely fantastic. But don't worry if you haven't, because I'm going to explain everything. Now, Be Internet Legends is a mix of easy to remember things to stay safe online, whilst thinking about digital well-being, healthy digital habits. We really want to make children confident explorers of the online world. Now, it's a really tricky time with what's going on in the world. We know that there's a lot going on with schools being closed. There's lots to juggle. You might be working from home as well. And you're not alone, because across the world, 1.5 billion children are at home because of the COVID-19 crisis. Now, this probably means that your children are spending more time online, using tech and the internet to learn, play, and of course, keeping in contact with friends and family. So the Be Internet Legends programme is here to help children stay safe and confident whilst maintaining their digital well-being at the same time. Now, it's been created by experts, so psychologists, children's charities, education experts, and the police. Before I go on, I'd like to say a huge happy birthday to Patrick. He's from Year 3 Doves class and he's 8. So happy birthday there. Hope you're having a lovely day and thank you for joining us on your birthday. Now I'll move on back to the programme and what we're going to be doing in this webinar. Oh, I liked giving that birthday message. Anyone else got a birthday? Happy to do a shout out. But back to the webinar, we're going to be talking about what we're doing to help keep your children safe online. So we want to support you as a parent to remind you of some of those important messages that they will have been learning in school. So I will be answering some questions soon, so make sure you're getting those in the chat. I'll keep, if you notice me, I'll keep glancing down and checking that chat for any questions. So if you've got any, let me know. So this is the Legends Code. And this code is the 5 most important things we want your children to remember when they're online. So we've got Be Internet Sharp, that's thinking before you share. Be Internet Alert, check it's for real. Be Internet Secure. We've got the digital wellbeing part of the programme. So this is encouraging your children to think about how technology makes them feel, whether that might be positive or negative. And it also helps them to reflect on their screen use. So I'm going to have a little look at the questions now, see if we've had anything come in. Let me have a little look there. I think it's a lot of people just saying hello. Someone had a birthday 2 months ago, so happy birthday for them. Lots of hellos. I can't see any questions, but if you do think of any, do pop them in there. And like I say, I'll keep having a look there. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Legends Code. So first, skipped ahead there. First we start with Be Internet Sharp. Now this is all about managing privacy settings and protecting your personal information when you're on the internet. So we really encourage children to think before they share. So it could be really useful for you to have a chat with your children at home and have a conversation about things that you think are okay to share on the internet and what information you should be keeping private. And whilst you're stuck at home, your child might want to share more than normal, but it's super important that they're just as careful as ever. So this is thinking about if they're taking a photo and sharing that, or a video, what's in the background of that video or photo, and are you happy to share that? And when they do go back at school, thinking about sharing photos with the child's school uniform on, because that can locate where that child goes to school. So just thinking about all those things that we're sharing on the internet. So next we have Be Internet Alert. So this one teaches children how to check it's for real. So for this one, we really want children to understand that not everything they see online is real. So in this one, it kind of gives the children their own skills to become their own online detectives. So we want children to check a link before clicking on it, having a look in the address bar to see if there's a padlock there. Always thinking if something's too good to be true, it probably is, especially if it's a pop-up what might say they've won a new skin for a game or a free prize. And we always want our children to talk to you if they're unsure. We've found that when children know how to spot the clues, they can be more confident identifying anything that might be fake, misleading, or a scam. So the next part of the pillar is Be Internet Secure, and this one's about protecting your stuff. And this is where we talk about keeping information safe online. So there are some really simple security things you can encourage your children to do at home, like creating a super strong password. And we say passwords need to have a mixture of capital letters, lowercase letters, and symbols and numbers in there. And to use a different password for every account, and that password as well needs to be something easy for your child to remember but not easy for somebody else to guess. So that can be tricky, so do have those conversations with your child about what their super strong password could be. We also encourage children to make sure they log out of any site they've been on. So that could be clicking on their name or their picture or their icon and logging out. Now, that might feel a bit strange now if you're at home using a shared computer or a shared tablet, that it's a safe computer, but it's just giving them the skills that when they do go back out into the real world, that they're remembering to do some of those things. We've got a question there I'm just going to take. So we've got, my kids are using internet a lot more now. Any tips on reducing screen time without causing upset? I do talk about this in the next few minutes, so I'll answer that then if that's okay. I'll move on to the next pillar, which is my favourite pillar, Be Internet Kind. So in this pillar, we want children to understand that communicating on the internet is different from communicating face to face. And it's really about children thinking carefully about the messages they send and keeping it fun and entertaining, and thinking about all the positive ways to keep in touch with their friends and family online. And that's super important at the moment as we're all adapting and thinking about new ways that we can be keeping in touch. Next one, this is the final pillar, and we say this one's the most important one of all, and it's when in doubt, discuss. So that's being internet brave. So we really want to encourage children to have the confidence and space to talk about anything that's on their mind when they've been online, even if it's something that might make them feel embarrassed or a little bit worried. So you can make this a routine part of the day. So maybe when you're going on your daily walk or having your tea or your dinner, having a chat about what they've been on the internet, what they've been doing, what games they've been playing, what learning they've been doing. And if you make this a regular part of your day, if your child does have a problem or come up with something that they're not sure about online, there's a space there for them to tell you about it. And they'll be used to, at school, they'll be used to the teachers checking in on them, making sure that they're okay. So it can be helpful if you continue to do this at home. Now, we've also got loads of resources to share with you, but before I get to those, I want to talk about digital well-being, and it links to one of those questions I got asked a moment ago. So, with digital well-being, there's no fixed rules to how much time a child should be spending online. So, instead of rules, we want your children to think about how the use of technology makes them feel and how those feelings might change over time. So, in schools, we encourage children to think about how different things make them feel. So, the teachers might ask them to draw their feelings using emojis and track how these feelings change over time. So, for example, they might be playing a game, and at the start of the game, they're really excited, so they draw a happy face emoji. Then they're feeling frustrated because they can't quite compete the level, and then they might feel happy because they've completed it. So it's just tracking how emotions change. Another activity for digital well-being is to ask your children to keep a diary to see what their screen time is, making sure it's varied as well. The screen time's varied and balanced with a healthy dose of offline activity. And those things can help you spark conversations at home, keeping everything super positive. So linking back to the question, just let me find it again. My kids are using the internet a lot. Any tips on reducing time without causing upset? So maybe if you are using that diary exercise that I just explained, if your child's keeping a diary, thinking about what they're doing online as well. So they might be spending time online, but that time might be quite varied. So they might be spending time talking to their friends, doing some of their online learning school. Then they might be being creative, and they might be having a relax and watching something they enjoy. So if that's lots of varied activities, and if that's mixed in with offline activity too, the diary can really help you have that conversation with your kid about what they've been doing and how they can be doing other things as well. Oh, I've got a bit lost in the question. So what I'll do is understand that fitting in internet safety with everything else that you're doing now is another task, and that's why we want to help. So we've got loads of resources that you can use with your children and do as a family, and there's some stuff you can do straight after this webinar, and Tim should be putting that link in the chat if he's not already. But the first one is Interland. Now this is an online game and children absolutely love it. So when they're exploring Interland, they complete challenges based on the Legends Code. So they're learning how to be fearless online explorers, and they're having loads of fun whilst they learn. So there's a link to this at the end of the video. So do play and share it. I'm sure Tim's popped it in the chat there as well. I think he has. And yeah, it's great. You could have a competition with your kids, see who can get the highest score on a level. There's one level, Mindful Mountain, what I actually can't do. So if you can complete Mindful Mountain, do let us know afterwards, because I just really struggle with it. So yeah, next, I will be answering some questions soon, and I can see there are a few in the chat, so I'll be going back to them as well to see if I can answer. So, in fact, you know what? I will do that. Now let me have a look in the questions. Let me have a see there. So yeah, someone's teachers recommended Interland. I've just spoken about Interland. It is part of the Be Internet Legends programme, and it is a game and it asks questions about staying safe online. So that is a great resource. Keep looking. Yes, this live stream will be available to watch afterwards, and we are doing other live streams as well. So I'm sure Tim can put a link there to the other dates if you do have any more questions you want to watch again in a few weeks' time to refresh your memory, or you've got any friends who you think that this would be useful for. Still looking. I think that's everything for now. So just before we wrap up, I will just remind you of the Legends Code we've got here. So like I said earlier, these are the 5 most important things for your child to remember. and we really want your children to stay safe when they're on the internet. I'm just sorry, I'm being completely distracted by these questions. I don't want to miss anybody out. Let's have a look. Are there any games? Yeah, so the game Interland is what I can recommend for online safety. It's really fun and it does answer those questions. Tomorrow's live stream is at the same time as this one, so 12 o'clock it starts. I'm just going to have a little swoop up to make sure I've not missed anybody. I hope I've answered your questions well, and I know Tim is great at putting some information in that chat. I think that's everything. So I think from me, I'd just like to say a massive thank you for taking part in this webinar. So it's been great. I hope it's been useful. It has been a whistle-stop tour, like I said, but there is more places you can go for help. So there's the link on the screen now, and that'll take you straight to the Interland game. There's the link that's in the chat, and that'll take you to all the resources what are designed to do as a family. We've also put an email address on the screen, so if you have got any further questions, if the chat ends and then you're like, oh, I should have asked that, or if something pops into your head later on, make a note of that email address and somebody will be monitoring that and will get back to you. I hope that's been useful. I've really enjoyed talking to you all today. If it has been useful, do tell your friends, your parent friends, that we have got more live streams coming up in the future. I'm just checking that there's nothing else there. Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's been absolutely brilliant.